Who y'all talking to, man? Y'all niggas ain't gonna believe what the fuck happened to me.
We're going off of emotion. It feels like you're doing something to me. He's trying to control me.
Who is appropriate to talk to when you're struggling? We talk too much. We don't know who to listen to.
I got to talk. I gotta tell what I feel. I gotta talk about my life as I see it.
All my niggas on the cell, bring some weed, I got a story to tell.
Welcome back to ASTT Podcast. We've been having some great conversations, and we're not gonna do nothing but give you some more. I'm here with my man D Nicky, my man Skeet, your boy Loose J. Roll the tape.
Emotionally damaged people are always sexually promiscuous. Let me say this again. If you are traumatized, if you are emotionally damaged, you are promiscuous. And do you want to know why?
Dang.
Why is that?
Emotionally traumatized people require constant validation from others. You married to a woman who's been traumatized, abuse, abandonment, whatever. When you're not around her for too many days, she has to entertain another man because her trauma dictates constant validation. And constant validation means I must have a man in my personal space.
There was some truth in what he said. The problem that I have is that it was an absolute statement. Promiscuity is a behavior, and it is different depending on the person. Promiscuity typically comes from like past experiences, attachment issues that will influence a person's relationship to casual sex and multiple partners. But depending on the person and the type of emotional damage that they have is the factor. You can have a person who has low self-worth, who will use sexual activity for validation, reassurance, and things like that. But you'll also have another person who has low self-worth, who feels as though they're inadequate or they're unworthy, and they'll feel like they're undeserving of the emotional connection that comes with sex. You also can have a person who's emotionally damaged, who may have, let's say two people have a fear of vulnerability. It may show up completely different. One person they may use this and say that, okay, I'm going to present this fear of vulnerability to avoid the risk of establishing a deeper connection. But another person who has a fear of vulnerability, who's emotionally damaged, we're talking about emotionally damaged people, they may have a fear of vulnerability, and they may say, well, you know what, now I have an aversion to sex. You may have one person who feels as though I'm going to use this as a coping mechanism, and this is going to make me feel powerful. I'm going to use this to control. You may have another person that says, you know what, I've had some sexual trauma, I've had some emotional wounds, and sex in itself makes me feel like I'm at a risk. Sex in itself makes me relive something that was damaging to me. So to say that all people who are emotionally damaged, and he made an absolute statement, are promiscuous is damaging to the culture, it's damaging to people, especially people who actually have emotional wounds and are operating in it. To put that behavior on somebody is inappropriate. It's definitely unethical for a clinical psychologist.
All right, now that was a lot.
That was a lot.
That was a lot. Now, how accurate do you feel like his description was, you know, of an emotionally damaged person?
I mean,
Speak for self.
yeah, I look at it like, for him to put everybody, all of them in that same box, I don't think that was correct for my analysis of it. Like, you can't, everybody handles trauma differently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to say that if a woman is going through or traumatized and she's going to be sexually active, like, I think one of the things he said was, if you're not around for a while,
Yeah.
a woman is going to find another man to go have sex with. You know what I mean?
Or to entertain her.
Entertain or whatever. You know what I mean? That's like, I guess that's his opinion to it. But
Now, is it just a sexually traumatized person, or just emotionally in general? Because
I think it's emotionally.
yeah,
it can lead you down either road, right?
Yeah.
See, this is kind of different to talk because some people grow up in a very toxic situation in the household where they being touched and abused and stuff like that. So, and then when you see some of them grow up later on in life, they have some of those tendencies of, like, you know, abuse. So they kind of, that's what they look for. You know what I'm saying? Like, they want the person that's going to, you know, give them the hard way. You know, so
So do you think a sexually traumatized person will be more so.
I haven't experienced that for me to say that. You know,
Now, to be honest, I can't say that I have either. Not too much. No, to be real, like
not laughing at nobody
Yeah,
either. Sorry,
yeah.
so don't think I'm laughing
yeah,
at
no,
nobody.
that's not it at
I'm
all.
just, you know,
Like we're watching the video and we try to analyze and we're having a discussion about it. So that's it.
No, I wish we could see it, that little clip of him saying that again, because like it's different things I got from him.
I'm gonna
saying
say
that.
this. I'm gonna say
Yeah.
this.
You know what I
He
mean?
ain't 100% wrong. Okay.
Sure.
There are people going through that.
Oh yeah.
There are people that respond that way, but it's not all women because they went through something. They're gonna respond that way.
Right.
That's
That was
why
a very
that's why I
blanket
say I
statement.
think I agree with when he just said that that's the bottom line, what it is.
Yeah.
Like he diagnosed like that's what it is, period.
Yeah.
Like I don't agree. Like you
And I
can't
think
just
that's
say
where
that.
Omar gets a lot of misunderstanding because he kind of like, this is what it is. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
It's
saying?
actual
Like the young
facts,
lady
like,
said, he
yeah.
made a statement.
Yeah,
saying
yes,
that's
yes,
what it
yes,
is.
yes,
And I don't
yes.
think you can.
She's right about that.
Yeah,
Like,
you can't just say, yeah, that's what it is, And like you said, people handle trauma different. There's some people that handle trauma and they just, like I said, shut down.
oh, some people go out and
You know
start
what I
killing
mean?
everybody.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's different ways,
And do you think some of those people use sex, like they were saying, as a coping mechanism to try to, just drown it out?
Yeah, but don't some people use sex as just as a to feel loved or to feel some kind of affection from somebody?
Yeah, that might be the way a person, like you just said, the way they feel loved or the way they feel they can get closer to you or
Yes.
get your love is give you sex or give
But-
you this or
What if someone just genuinely loves sex? What if they haven't been traumatized at all?
That's
They
another
just
topic. You a sex
Yes,
addict.
yeah,
man.
it's a sex addict. You got weed addicts, you got
Yeah.
coke addicts, you got
Sex.
alcoholics, you got there's a lot of vices that
Yeah.
people tend to, candy. All your teeth falling out, you still want to eat candy. You know what I'm saying? So
okay. Now, see, we can go down a rabbit hole with that.
we can, we should.
It's
We should.
so okay. Now, are you gonna be a sex addict if you're already in a relationship? You're married, right? You've been with this person for X amount of years, but that person understands that this is what you want, or this is how you are.
Okay. Situational, right?
Yeah.
Your wife have a kid, right? Her body's going through something different. We wasn't taught about postpartum and all these things in school, or what women go through, or how to respond to women going through these things. We wasn't taught these things. Like we learn all these things in the house when it's happening,
Yeah.
right? Because we didn't have these conversations with nobody before to say, oh, well, when the dog, when your wife had a baby, you might want to, rub her feet, do this, do that, try to do things to uplift her, so they bringing stress to her because she already is stressed because of her body, what her body went through. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know, because I never had a baby, and I'm glad that I don't have to put that pain, but that's a trauma in itself. Just watching it, watching my kids being birthed.
Physically and mentally.
And one of them was had to have emergency situation to be born, and the other one was natural, but it still took a lot from her to do those things. You know what I'm saying? So, and then even to this day, they don't really snap right back or get back. They got to work hard for that.
Sure.
So some of these ladies that's doing the BBL and stuff like that, we understand it's because of what their bodies went through, what they got to look at every morning, how that makes them feel. So, I get it.
It is a form of trauma, and it's
a form of
something that they
trauma.
have to deal with, and it's understandable.
Yeah. So,
So in all fairness, wouldn't the same rule apply for men?
in a way, but men can make babies every day.
Not as far as the I don't think so. Not as far as the I don't think it applies to men the same way.
It don't apply the same way.
Because it's we don't have to
but
deal
don't get
with
me wrong. There is a thing
Not that we
of
don't.
because sex is a lot of men's comfort zone. The release. It helps with mental issues. It's been studied.
Sure.
So women have a cycle. We right?
Always ready to go.
So, well, some of us, depending on your health,
Sure.
right? So, I see what Emo's saying. So he's saying, on the health wise, is it the same for men too? And it might be. I just haven't experienced that to have that, and I really haven't talked to any other men that had that conversation that has that issue.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't know.
I think it could definitely it can, but it just usually doesn't, right?
But I mean, when you say is it the same for men? Like, how would you word the question? Because it's a different question.
So it would be the same thing. So if I'm an individual who's been traumatized, now get into this relationship, whatever triggers me, I can revert to.
But traumatized by what?
Okay. Now,
Okay,
right,
so all right,
That's
hold
what I
on.
mean.
all right. Now that's good. That's
now
good.
I'm gonna tell you.
About
I'm
what?
gonna say this. Now, I had when I first came up here to the States. You know what I'm saying? Met up with a couple of guys. You know what I'm saying? And those are my best friends, right? One of them had been through some things when he was younger. We never talked about it like at all until actually just a couple of years ago. You know what I'm saying? So he had been through all of these things when he was young. He was just telling me, oh, he had been molested by his babysitter and everything like that. And there was one point I was dating this girl, and we used to go over to her house and hang out and everything. And for some reason, one night he ended up going to her house, right? Because he was like, "Oh, I'm drunk, I can't make it all the way to my house," and he ended up like trying to sleep with her, and that was because, come to find out, of things that he had been through before. He said, he didn't really think that there was nothing wrong with it, like on that level. I was like, yeah, bro, that was like fucked up. Like we didn't talk for a little while after that. You know what I'm saying? Because like you trying to sleep with my girl. You know what I'm saying? And you're supposed to be my best friend. Not just somebody I know around the way. Like, you're supposed to be my best homie. You know what I'm saying? That here you are trying to sleep with my girl. But he was like, he didn't know any better because of things that he went through when he was younger. And, he just kind of thought it was okay.
But
No.
But I don't know about that one.
know
You really,
about that.
you
You're a nice
Nah,
dude.
like I said, we hadn't
that's-
talked. We hadn't talked like after that incident happened.
But I'm saying, like, okay, that's like I said before. That's different to me because like that's your man. That's, you know what I mean. This your girl. That don't got nothing to me to do with sexual trauma. Like if
when he
I
explained it to
and
me,
let me explain. Let me
Yeah,
say why.
yeah, my bad.
I don't. No, it ain't, I don't think that like if you going through sexual trauma, okay, you're going through it, and I don't know about it because I haven't been through it, so I can't say what's in a person's mind. But instead of labeling it that, maybe he was just attracted to your lady and he wanted to try to sleep with her. I don't think that had nothing to do with, man, I've been through this when I was younger. And let me, you know what I'm saying? Now, maybe his boundaries aren't there to where he respect, that's your lady, I don't need to deal with her. Let me go over here and deal with somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't equate that to trauma. But like I said before, I'm not judging it or saying it because I've never been through it. So I can't say, oh, nah, that ain't because of trauma. He's just being low down and tried to get with your lady.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I can't say that.
That sound like he was trying to cause you trauma.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I was already traumatized by the whole
That's
situation.
what
Like, I
I'm
want to
saying.
kill
It's
this
like,
nigga.
But that's
yeah,
how
that's
I
what
want,
I'm
you
saying.
know,
It's
so-
like, that's what I can't say. I don't know what's going through his head.
I know hurt
So,
people hurt people,
you know what
but
I mean? Yeah, I
there's a-
don't
there's-
know what's going through his head.
whatever he went through as a child or whatever he went through at that point where he felt like he needs to go around and mess with his people's other half, that's a little more than trauma, bro. That's bad behavior, bro. That's if you come from trauma, right? You should be trying to do something to fix that, right? I come from trauma, so my trauma is to, like, you know what? I don't want my kids out there on their own and don't have nobody, feel like they have nobody to turn to. That's my trauma.
Trying to fix it.
You know what I'm saying? Because my dad, as a younger kid, my dad wasn't there to tell me how to shoot the basketball. You understand? My dad wasn't there to tell me how to drive the car. Don't get me wrong, he did show me things through life, but there's times when you need to have that sit down and be like, yo, this is this, son. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at this. I know you want to go out here and bump your head 50 million times, which you're going to have the opportunity to do that, but look at these ways first. You know, A lot of us don't get that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even when it comes to dealing with women. Like you said, you had said something to us. We was talking one time how you said your father, I think it was you said your father actually came back and had a conversation with you as a grown man. Yeah, it was you.
Yeah.
My
Later
father
on
did,
in life.
my father did the same thing to me, and it helped me so much because there was times I felt not wanted. Like, yo, why y'all motherfuckers leaving? I just was a late night.
But see, that's the crazy thing. Like what you just said right there, not wanted, because it was actually, and that's from growing up and being and maturing. I was mad at my father, and it was my wife who was like, "You need to talk to your dad. You need to don't, you know what I mean, go on like that." And it's crazy because me and my dad got closer, started talking, and then he passed away. And it was like I would have had to wear that, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, dang, I never had that talk with him. But being able to reconnect and talk with him, and he took, and that's a form of trauma. You know what I'm saying? But it was like I sat down, and then he was able, because people don't understand, especially like father-son things. Y'all both going through something. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know what your dad went through or what, you know what I mean, at the time, you know? You thinking now you young and females act a certain way, your mom might have acted the same way, you know what I mean, towards your dad. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what they went through. But, you know what I mean, for me and him to have that conversation, that helped with what I had to deal with. And that's like you said, you know what I mean? You talking to him, and now you get to pass it on, but it's in a different form because your sons not only now get to know what your dad told you, but especially the love that you give them from, you know what I mean, from the rip, from the beginning. So I think that's like he said, you try to fix the trauma. You don't
go out there and make
my
more
question
trauma.
to you is, what happened after that? Like with you and him?
like I said, we hadn't talked for a good while, and through our other mutual friend, because it was three of us, man. It was the Three Musketeers, bro. And he kind of brought us back together, and it was like, hey, we want to talk to you and everything.
Bros over hoes type shit.
And I eventually broke up with the girl anyway.
That was my next question. That was my next question. What happened with? Because how? Like,
no, she was solid. She was solid, because she called me up.
She called and told you, right?
Yeah.
So
She was like, yo, son is here. He trying to move a little different. So I'm in the room with the door locked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm on the way. I'll be right there. By the time I got there, he was gone. So, but because of the relationship that me and him had, I tried to hear him out for what he had to say. All these years later, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna hear what you had to say. And he said that, and who am I to say that's incorrect, right? That's the way you feel. If that's what in your brain made you feel like that's what you wanted to do, who am I to say no? That was. I mean, yes, it is wrong, and we know it's wrong.
You
But
handle it very maturely. You let somebody show you who they were.
it goes back to mental health, right?
Yeah, I say you did the right thing. You let somebody show who they were, and you deal with them accordingly. Now, like,
bro, I was 16 in high school. I'm at home one day cleaning up my room and shit. One of my friends called me. He like, so and so told me to tell you that he fucked your girl, and if you got a problem, you can come meet him in the park. And I was like, what? Like, I didn't know what to do at the time, you know what I'm saying? I was mad. I was like ready to be on my way to the park, right? I didn't.
Good.
I didn't, thank goodness.
We kind of figured that part
I'm still out here, you know what I'm saying? I'm still out here.
Figured that part
Yeah, so, for me, that was trauma, right? That was trauma
at
for
that
me.
time, yeah.
Yeah, 16, what? You know how mad I was for the next 2 months, 3 months, bro? It was, it was devastating for
And
me.
then you learned that it wasn't yours, so you didn't have no reason to be mad. It was hers to give away. Do what you do with it.
Yeah. So, all right, let's go ahead and check out another video. See what we got.
I'm a better baby mama. I could give two flying federal fucks. I got a child who has a father who wants to be in their life. If he don't want me, he don't want her either. I'm a better baby mama. Of course I'm gonna tell my baby daddy, my baby can't be around no kids that you have after mine. I don't need him thinking he can have a whole family without me. I'm a better baby mama. Of course I'm gonna use my baby to get an invitation to his family house for the holidays. And then when he show up to his family house, I'm gonna have an attitude. Because why the fuck are you here? Now I can't talk shit about you. I'm a bitter baby mama. Of course I'm gonna tell anybody and everybody that don't listen. My baby daddy ain't shit. He's terrible. He don't do nothing for his kids. He don't care about them kids. It's really me just keeping him from his kids because he don't want me no more. I'm a bitter baby mama. Of course I have to pre-approve any woman you call yourself dating. I don't need just anybody around my baby. Spoiler alert, if they prettier than me, I ain't approving their ass. I'm a bitter baby mama. Of course I'm gonna tell my baby daddy, you better not have my baby around that new wife you got. Even though I can have the same baby around every Tom, Dick, and Harry that shows me the slightest bit of attention. I see it what the fuck I see it. I'm a bitter baby mama. I don't give a damn that I know my daughter need her daddy in her life. I didn't have my daddy in my life. Look how good I turned out.
Psycho.
Man, all right, now she was being sarcastic, but every single thing that she said is something that another woman out there is saying right now, you know, to the father of her kids. You know, every single thing she said is something that is really being said by a lot of women right now. You know, and that's unfortunate.
Being done.
It's being done.
Yeah. You know, even though she made the video out of a joke, how much truth do you think is in there? I think it's all truth. You know, how do y'all feel about it?
I mean, there's some, I mean, mostly everything she said is probably true to somebody. You know what I mean? Somebody is doing it. Some female is doing something out of something she said to, you know what I mean? Regardless, maybe not the exact manner, but as far as like the breakdown of how she said it or how she feel or don't want her kids around another female because, and even if the female looks better than her, you know what I mean? People, a lot of female may feel that way, you know?
Now, what do you think the value is in co-parenting? Right? It's got to be like,
that's
number one, right?
Yeah, I was always taught when you have a child, it's always a lock. The child's the lock, right? You guys, there's no key holder to that. The child's the lock. Whatever you two do, like I'm gonna give that to my parents, right? My parents come together for my family, for my immediate, for my personal family, and it's a beautiful thing to see them enjoying their grandkids together, experiencing things. You know what I'm saying? Things like I wish I would have seen like that. Some of those things have helped me so big to see my parents applauding my kids, applauding their nephews and nieces. You know what I'm saying? Applaud. It's a village, bro. Like that's the first thing we learn about raising your family is about the village. You know what I'm saying? Once you get a village around your kids, like once you know that your sons can come in here and pick up cameras and stuff around the people that you've been working with, and you know they're good. He with emo. He gonna come back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a plus. So it's the same thing as a male and a female that can't be together no more, but they have children, right? Y'all still gonna have to take care of the children. You're still gonna have to figure things out. You can do it with attitude, or we can get past everything that we gave up, because once you gave up the relationship, you gave the relationship up. So why are we still?
Everybody's not mature enough to do that though, too.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Everybody's not mature enough to do that. One's gonna be mad at the other sometimes. You know what I mean?
Hate is the biggest. No one wants to see the next person happy.
But like you said, if you doing it for the child, that's what it's supposed to be about, regardless of the fact. It's supposed to be about the child.
Now we go back to the first question, right? Like, is that a traumatizing situation for her to make her act out and be like, oh, I'm not gonna let you see your kid, or I'm not, you know.
The way she going about it and the things she's saying is more of somebody being petty. That's petty stuff she's talking right there.
Yeah,
right.
100%.
Because there's nothing she didn't say anything about you know, making him responsible for education or for her kid being signed up for certain things, or that was never the conversation. The whole conversation is about her.
Yeah.
So her child loses because she's stuck on her.
Now, where do you think that bitterness even stems from? Like, why? Because we're not together, do you feel like you want to keep my kid from me, and you don't want me to bring my kid around?
Control.
What you just said, because we're not together.
Not together. Control. They can't tell you what.
A lot of people have unresolved issues. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm gonna be mad at you. And men do it too. It ain't just women.
Yeah.
She just made the video.
Men don't
Yeah.
show up.
Dudes do it
Men
too.
don't show to pick up their kids up on they to pick the
Yeah,
kids up, bro.
Yeah.
yeah, they do it. She just made a
That's
video
traumatizing.
talking about women. Men do it. Men do it. I'm gonna bring this other female around her because I know it's gonna make her mad. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna have my kids over here, or they do it.
Yeah.
So it goes both ways.
Word, I know dudes who they not even with shorty like that when they bring their kid around.
Yeah,
Like, yo, why you bring your kid? You're not even with her like that. You got your
Yeah.
kids seeing all this.
That'd be
You know
wild.
what I'm saying?
That'd be wild.
So it goes both
All
ways.
right. Well, all right. Let's go ahead and check out another one.
Read something. It's been on my phone for about, since I met y'all, it's probably like 6 years. Just say, break generational curses. Quit yelling at your kids before they go to bed and expect them to sleep well. Quit yelling at your kids in the morning right after they wake up before school and expect them to have a good day. You set the tone for your children. You set the tone for your voice. They will always remember in their heads. You become the inner voice. Don't be the inner critic. Speak life, speak love, speak bravery, kindness and hope. Speak wisdom and truth. Most of all, listen to your children. I never had none of that. I get that to mine. And that's my number one priority. I follow that. That's how I break it. And, so when I do it, I live it. I live it.
That one's heavy.
That's real right there.
That one's heavy. You know, I really, really hate, and I get mad at myself sometimes when I raise my voice at the kids, Like, I feel like I should be able to talk to you sternly, and you understand what I'm saying. I don't gotta be like, oh, blah, 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 blah. Go get your shoes, go get your jacket, go get the book bag, go wash the dishes, or whatever it is, and like that's trauma in itself, right? That in itself is trauma, especially when the kids are at a small age like that, it's it is rough on them. You're gonna yell at them to go get their shoes, go get their stuff, go brush your teeth before school, but you want them to have a good day, right? Like that's pretty messed up, and it drives me crazy. Drives me up the wall, you know what I'm saying? When people want to be yelling at kids all the time and expect them to do what they're being yelled at to do.
Well, I'm gonna say this. My kids is hard head sometimes, man. And when I say take a shower, an hour later, they ain't in the shower yet. Take a shower. Another 30 minutes, they ain't in the shower yet. Frustration gonna kick in, bro.
It does.
Right? Now, the way you yell at them is different, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can say, get the fuck in the shower, I can fuck take. You can do that. Or you can be like, yo, didn't I tell you to get in the shower? Like, you can speak, right, with a voice that puts life into them, that lets them know you're serious, right? Because we growing up, we all got that story. When mom looked at you, you knew, all right, hold up. Yeah, let me stop now.
Yeah.
Mom she ain't playing right now. Kids are always gonna, pull at your strings. They're kids, they're young, right? They're trying to figure things out too, right? So that the things that we feel we have all figured out, they're trying to figure out too.
Yeah.
Just because we tell them how to do it, don't mean that's the way they can do it.
Yeah.
It might just be hard for them to get it done that way, right? They need to bump their head. It gets frustrating. Like I'm speaking for me, it gets frustrating, right? I tell my kids, yo, you do your push-ups? Nah, why not? What's so hard about doing the push-ups, right? But it's being lazy, right?
Yeah.
But when I think about it, my kids see me come home. Do I jump around and do push-ups like I'm home from work? No, I do it when I want to do it throughout the day.
Well, it's different because you're not moving around on the same schedule as they are.
It's different, but they still your kids, right? So even with like the baby, right? So people talk about how the kids play with the phones. The kids play with the phones because they see us on the phone all the time.
Yeah.
Right? The kid, whatever mommy and daddy do, that kid is gonna be a part of that. If mommy and daddy eat a lot, that kid is gonna eat a lot. If mommy and daddy play on the phone, that kid is gonna be on the phone. If mommy and daddy go outside and be around, that kid's gonna be outside seeing what's going on. Gonna be in tune with the dances and all type of stuff because that's what we do, right? They're a clone. They just sucking up everything that's going on around them from us.
Yeah.
You know?
See, for me, even when I get frustrated with them, you know, I feel myself about to, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, about to go off. I try to dial it back as much as I can, especially for the smaller ones, right? Because I don't want them to be moving around and feel like it's okay for them to be, you know, upset and yelling at people, you know.
But it's
But
like,
it's part of life too, though,
it's
because when they
like,
go outside, when they go, I can speak for ball. When my kid go play for that coach over there, and he start yelling and screaming, but he only used to me going, "Oh, it's okay, E.
he gonna
You
break
can make it
down and
happen,
cry.
bro. Don't worry about it, bro." No, he already got it from me. He already know. Yo, you better not cry, man. I'm telling you the truth. I'm asking you to do something. You're not doing it. Right? I can't accept you sitting here and just bowing your head down and acting like, oh, because I'm not getting my. No. You want to be a part of this? This is what it is, my man. This is what you got to do. Right? When you get on that team with that coach and he asks you to do something and it's something that you're not used to doing, you're going to have to figure it out.
Yep.
Right? When you get out, when you go to college, when you go to school, you're going to have to figure it out. We're not in the classroom with the kids. When they tell you your kid can't read at a certain level or whatever, you're gonna have to figure it out. We're gonna have to go home and see what's happening with this kid. Why are these things? You know, now we invested money into tutoring. Now we invested money into all. You know, it depends on what you want to do for the kids.
You know,
your kid. You say your kids is young.
yeah.
Right? They're young.
So, you know, we got the 8-month-old, the 2.5, 4.
Yeah. So those
you know,
those
5.
kids that at those ages, they're supposed to give you those kind of problems.
But you know, I don't want them to grow up feeling like, you know, someone just yelling at them all the time is.
But you wouldn't though.
You
would
know,
yell.
I try to.
You will yell and then you would explain, right? Because there's a heated moment and then there's a moment of learning, right? So when something is happening and I got to be aggressive about it, I'm gonna be aggressive about it, but I'm also gonna learn. You know what I'm saying? So I don't just lose altogether, right? That's something I had to work on a lot. That video we just saw, that video helped me out a lot because I had to speak life into my kids, always having my own trauma, thinking the bad way of things all the time. Like, yo, because you ain't doing this ain't gonna happen. Because you ain't doing that ain't gonna happen. They had to learn to say, nah, brother, when you learn how to do these things, then those things can happen for you, right? That's the better way to telling him. Instead of me telling him, because you ain't doing it, it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I had that habit.
Okay, I like that.
But I think
I like
that's the thing, though. Like you said, I understand what he was saying on the video, as far as yelling at them before they go to school and stuff like that. But it's like you said, speak life into them and try to help them, uplift them. But then at the same time, you have to be firm with children.
Yeah.
Because children are going to run over you. They're gonna. If I can't get it from mom, then okay, I'm gonna go over here to dad and I manipulate dad. Or if I, you know what I'm saying, that's just children. You know what I mean? Now, I think like this generation is like a lot of things where we making the kids soft with a lot of things we do. You know what I mean? Like back in the days, moms, man, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna knock you. My mother used to always tell me and my brother, man, I'm gonna hit you upside your head and kill you. My mom wasn't gonna kill us, but we knew when my mom turned around. You know what I mean? Like I always got a funny story that me and my brother always tell. Like we was in the grocery store. This back in the days with Pathmark and all that.
Okay.
So we in the grocery store and we pushing the shopping cart and it hit my mom here. And my mom turned around and we both took off and we was gone. You know what I mean? And it's like, and she always had that thing where like we get in trouble in school, you want dad to come. You don't want mom to walk down the hallway with that white nursing outfit on. She had to come from work.
Oh boy.
And it's the thing like and I think that's where in a young age you put them in those children. Because we knew at the same time, like my mother always said, she said to this day, I ain't never raised you to be soft skinned. You know what I mean? You had the world is different. Like he said, you can't, baby, don't worry, it's okay. And then you walk out the door and little Johnny at the school bus, get your and kicking you, and then you timid, or the teacher, like you said, the coach yelling at you, and the coach trying to get some fire out you, and you scared. You know what I mean? They can't, you know what I mean, yell at you. They can't say nothing to you.
I mean, you definitely
So
don't
it's
want to
different
raise them to be, you know, soft, right? We try to be stern and, you know, just solid. So that's it.
Yeah, but like I said, I agree with the things he said in the video as far as speak life into him and
Speak
don't just
life.
yell at
Word
him
up.
and don't
That's it. That's
because
it, man.
you do have a lot of people, like a lot of girls may just yell at a child or you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Don't,
Yeah, I
or
can't- I
men
can't-
might
I
yell
can't
at
deal
a
with
child,
that,
Yeah,
you know.
like I said, that was one of my things. I was a screamer. You know what I'm saying? Yo, go do this, do that. Yo, watch that, like you know what I'm saying. But then like that video
Oh, yeah.
on Instagram
Yeah.
was like, hold up. If I want these kids to do it, I gotta give them a better way of saying it so that they know that they can do it.
Yeah.
Not
Right.
tell them they can't do it. Not tell them they not doing it. You know what I'm saying? So
My 12-year-old right now, he the most hard-headed of both.
that's
You
the
know,
age
it's-
though.
So
Is
what
he the
I've
oldest?
No, my 16-year-old is the oldest. You know, with him right now, I was like that. You know, I'd be all, you know, come in here and do this and do that and that and that. It was one time he got in trouble, right? Discipline him, say, hey, no computer, no TV, no none of that for a whole week, right? This was like on a Saturday. By like the Tuesday, he was back on the computer. And I'm like, yo, don't you remember the whole conversation we had? Don't you remember the discipline that you got? We had a whole conversation. Don't you remember me telling you no computer, none of this? He was like, no. I'm like, how? How do you not remember that from 2-3 days ago?
Didn't want to.
Yeah. Did you told him why you was taking everything from him though, right?
Oh, he knew.
Like no, but I'm saying, did you tell him?
Yes.
Not just he got suspended from school, no computers, no
Yo.
like did you have that conversation with him?
Yes.
We gotta wrap this up, but before we wrap this up, I'm glad you said that. My older son, to the point right now where he go out, he do something, he'll come home and take the game and shit and put it in my room
Oh yeah, he already
before
know.
I even say anything now,
He already know.
right? But that's because lately I haven't been screaming or wilding out. It's just been more like, oh, that's what you're going. All right, fine.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Because he looking for that energy.
Yeah.
So he already know what to do. You gave him that energy.
But like you said, he said, "Oh no, I'm gonna leave there for the week." 2-3 days later, he back at the game because he did what he supposed to do. He got the
You
good
gotta look at it.
grades.
That's just him. As I did it when I was younger. Boys gonna try. They fall.
Yeah.
They gonna try. He just trying. That's it.
Yeah. Well,
So how you handle it?
No,
I gave him another week.
Yeah.
I gave him another week. I was like, well, since you don't remember, we're going to restart it
Gonna
right
restart
here.
it, yeah.
Right from today.
They
That's
gonna
it.
try you.
But it's a learning moment for him now. Don't play with daddy, right? Don't try to run the fast stuff on dad because dad he gonna give it right back to me.
And we're going to remember.
So
We're going to always remember. So,
yo, man, that was a great conversation. We can be here all day with this conversation.
As
tell you the
usual,
truth. But thank everybody for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? Check us out on all the platforms. You know, my man D Nicky, Skeet, your boy Loose J. Thank you for watching.